Well, here we are. Oh, look at you. You're already on there. That wasn't supposed to be on there yet. Yeah. But I'm going to remove you for a second. There you go. And hey, the name of the show is A.M.O.K. And as the people who watch this show understand, things go awry quite often. And the first thing I noticed as I'm sitting there watching the credits because I'm just sitting there looking around, being normal me, and then I realized I named the show Running Muck.
I saw that.
Thanks, Adrian.
I'm not even really here apparently. I just know tonight. This is an Oklahoma night. But hey, before we even get started on the show and talk with Brooke, I do want to bring up something. Over the weekend, there was a little bit of drama at a facility that fairly local to us. And you heard us talk. We don't ever mention the name because we're not allowed to mention the name. But we call it an old Arkansas hospital. And the old Arkansas hospital had some people go in there. There's a whole bunch of rules. You can't do this. You can't do that. And people kept doing this. He kept doing that. Not allowed to run fundraisers. You're not allowed to advertise. You're not allowed to say the place. You can't even say the town or you can't say even the county that's in or what type of hospital. So most of the people who run this area understand where I'm talking about. Well, apparently somebody this weekend decided to have a little heyday, a lot of good times in there, and basically what they did was got the place shut down for everybody. So now, from now on, that paranormal location, which is a fantastic location, is now off the board for every team. So please, I just beg you guys, it's great. Let's go have a lot of fun in the paranormal community, but respect the place, respect the rules, because one person can mess it up for everybody. And that's what happened. One team just takes this wonderful location off the map. And I've seen shadow people. I've seen 3 full body apparitions. I've got countless EVPs from the place. And I had some people that wanted to take with me to go see that place because we talked about it, and now I'm not going to be able to do that because somebody decided they wanted to.
That is hugely disappointing.
It is hugely disappointing. So that's a real bummer. But it is what it is. That's a second location because we was on Ghost Adventures, and the place that we was on Ghost Adventures burned down because people went out there, trespassed on the place, trying to ghost hunt and smoking, and burned the place down. So now another fantastic location gone off the thing due to carelessness. Don't do that. Let's do this. You want to be taken seriously, be a little serious when we do it. Now,
all right.
Now that that's over with,
want me to go?
I'm gonna turn this over to Chrissy because she's all excited. It's her first week. Here we go.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Well, I want to welcome Brooke Montoya. She's an author and a paranormal investigator with Afterlife Paranormal. She's an Oklahoma native, and she's writing a new book. I believe that you also have written a book on, is it Asherson?
Say that again. What the book that I'm writing?
You wrote one already on Atchison, is that right?
Correct. Yeah, Haunted Atchison.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah, thanks. All of us.
So welcome, Brooke. Welcome to the show.
Why am I having issues tonight? This is terrible. There we go. I blame it on the pizza.
That was a great intro, by the way.
Thank you. As you hear my roommate coughing in the background, my apologies. I gave her my illness. Oh. We are all down with the sickness here. So
I think I've read that book, and I know that picture.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Going there again in August. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Brooke, and just kind of your passions and all your just things that go on.
Yeah, so during the day, my professional world, I'm a licensed therapist, and I have a private practice here in Oklahoma City. And one of the things that is special about my private practice that's important to me is the energy work that we do. So we have therapists, but we also have like a wellness component, like Reiki, yoga, things that, that energy work that's important. And then I also teach full time at a university here in Edmond. I teach future substance use counselors. So that's kind of what I do for, to pay for my ghost hunting.
Sorry, what did you say you taught? What?
Oh, substance use counseling and
Oh,
substance
okay,
use
got it.
classes. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then our paranormal team is Afterlife Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma. And we have been together we're about to celebrate our, fifth year together. The three of us that are on the team currently have been together for 4 years. And so we're a good little solid group, and we've become really, really close, which makes it extra special. But I've been investigating since 2015 and started with the team in Tulsa, like I had mentioned, to where you are, Christy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, my first book came out in March, Haunted Atchison. We love Atchison. We have done so many investigations there. And then, writing the book, I was able to get into more places. And then I'm writing one now about Oklahoma, right? So tap
That's
into some of the
exciting.
places here. Yeah.
So
I love Atchison. It's a very cool place.
Yes, it is. And I love how they embrace their hauntedness,
Yes, for sure.
never been. I want to go. Go.
I enjoy there. It sounds like a really interesting place.
We need to get up there again. I know we've been trying to coordinate something because Ken's been working on something, but I'm not sure when we're going to be able to pull it off. Is that when you're going to go? Ken is in.
Yeah, I have our spot is in August. I think it's the first week of August weekend.
Is it?
I have to look it up. But yeah, Brooke, as far as Atchison, there's a lot of places in Atchison I'm finding out that are haunted.
Yes.
I mean, you got the McIntyre,
Mm-hmm.
and you have
Yep.
Sally House, which I've never been in, but I've been sitting in front of it twice, maybe 3 times. Isn't there another place, not maybe a mile or two away from there?
So
I'll let you talk here.
Yeah. So McIntyre is a location that can be rented and investigated. Also, the Dilgert House now has new ownership, and they allow for, I think, like 4-hour investigations that can be booked. The Sally House, of course, can be booked through the city. And let's see, Hannah Jo Kuzak rents a room, an Airbnb type room on a vacation rental. So you can stay in the Hannah Jo Kuzak's house and the room that had the most activity.
Oh,
Since
wow.
they've been there. Yeah. And then there's one other one. 1322 Maple Street House of the Dead is an investigation. Like they rent it out. They have a website. They rent it out. And I think it's from, you'd have to look, but I think maybe like 8 to 2 in the morning or midnight or something like that.
I want to laugh at that. What do they mean? The House of the Dead.
Well, yeah. So 1322, of course, is the address on Maple Street. House of the Dead. I don't know that they told me exactly how they came up with that, but the owners, Steve and Mike, feel like there's potentially some demonic energy. I'm not sure, but they feel like it is based on some of the things that have happened there. And so I think, it's also something that they have a bunch of different places that they own. So I'm sure it's a catchy name.
Yeah.
Maybe,
it is, sure.
Yeah, maybe a shtick.
I know there's it's a restaurant. I can't remember if it was a pub or what it was that we ate at that's haunted too. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Do you remember what it looked like?
It was I want to say it was on a corner. And it was south of the Sally House, somewhere in there.
Yeah, like a little diner, Palucci's.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, Palucci's has been there. So that started out as a fruit stand by that same family, and then turned into the grocery store and a deli, and then a restaurant with a deli. And so the same family has owned it in the same location that many years, since it opened.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You
Well,
know,
the one thing
that's
about me, if there's investigating going on, food is
food's
number
always
one
out.
and very high on my list.
Yes. Well, we have,
Yeah.
there's 4 restaurants in the book. So one is a Mexican eatery that has had various activity. Pete's is some of the best food. They have the best like mushroom chicken, grilled chicken, so good. And so a crazy story when we were there that's in the book is, one of the things that I do is kind of go in and see if I do I feel anything. Are there any stories associated with the place? Sometimes there's not stories, but maybe there's feelings. And so, and then we ask the waitress, hey, does anything ever happen here? And she's like, oh yeah, let me get you the owner. And so we asked the owner, we met Rebecca, and we asked the owner if we could kind of look around after we eat. She's like, oh, of course, of course. And there's an upstairs location in the building. And so we went upstairs after we ate, and we were kind of trying to pick up, there's 2 of us that are sensitive, and we were trying to pick up on what we were feeling. And picking up on, one of my teammates picked up on some stairs and somebody falling down the stairs.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Unbeknownst to us, that day, we had heard the ambulance in town because the town's not very big. We heard it earlier that day,
Mhm.
but the delivery man had been in there, fell down the stairs, ended up dying at the hospital. I
Wow.
That day?
that day, I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we were just picking up on that like psychically, like he clearly
Wow.
wasn't there, but yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's interesting because, even if it's a living person, sometimes you get that footprint that kind of sticks, that remains, And
Yeah,
that's what you think, yeah.
yeah, especially being so recent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was still there, and he wanted somebody to know.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's not
That's like
the latest ghost that's been added to the collection there.
Mhm.
I know.
That's not me.
Dramatic.
Do you
I
think?
guess that's how they're. I mean, that's a theory of how they come around, though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Well, fortunately, he died at the hospital. I mean, not fortunately, but
Right, correct. Yeah.
hospital, not there. But yeah.
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 Mhm.
Goodness.
That is wild.
Is Amelia Earhart's place, the museum, is that have any
Yeah.
hauntings there? Do you know?
Yeah, so they do have stories of people that have worked there. And then the director of the museum let us in after hours, and we were able to investigate for a little while. And we definitely had some activity. A funny story about that one was Amelia's room has her bed, well, not her bed, but a bed in there. There are items belonging to Amelia that are in the room, but in front of the bed is like a red rope, right? Like at a museum, like don't go past this space. And when we had gone in, we had set the Mel meter on the bed, and then energy was felt like nothing was really kind of happening. We were picking up on energy that we felt, but no equipment had gone off. And then my teammates like, I don't think that they like the Mel meter past the ropes. Like I think they're telling us don't put it past the ropes, like follow the rules. So we put it down in front of the bed, in front of the ropes, and it went off. They were like, thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
We were feeling that maybe it was her sister. Her sister lived into, her elderly adult years and often checked on the museum. And so it felt like her sister was there kind of checking in on the place and making sure things were going well and stuff.
That's wild.
Cool. What about down on the riverfront area? I know you're up on a big bluff, but I think you can get down to the river area. I believe there's been a couple of steamboat wrecks in that particular area too. Coming around that bend.
So I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know anything about that. I have a few stories about people who either took their life or died into the river. There's some stories in there about that called Watery Graves. And then the River House restaurant. So it recently closed, but it was a very haunted restaurant. Like everybody knows the stories of that. Not only that, but I was at that Paolucci's diner that you were talking about. And the waitress, I was asking her stories about things that she had experienced there. And she's like, "Oh, have you been over to the River House?" And I said, "Oh, not yet." But she goes, "Well, I used to work there." I said, "Oh, well, give me stories about that too," because
Exactly.
like she experienced things there.
So why would a
So
restaurant be haunted?
they turn it into. Do what?
Why would a restaurant be haunted?
Well, so the River House was potentially a brothel.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
So you're saying
I
some people go there because they had the best time of their life there?
Or Afterlife, Adrian.
well, okay, so that segues into the book that I'm writing right now, which
You are so good,
Perfect.
Adrian.
Yeah.
is haunted Oklahoma brothels and saloons.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
so
Yeah.
brothels and saloons in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, not active ones, but
Okay.
I mean, like
We know
actively
I'm not.
haunted, but not currently running. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
Are
like
you seeing?
my
is there
first
any-
real investigation was in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Well, we did an investigation here in town. It was outside investigation. You know, it's a brand new team. You don't know where to go, what to do, how to get in, and we did an outdoor investigation, Judge Parker's, and it was a terrible mess. And then we went and to just shortly after did a conference in Oklahoma City, and we met with the people from OKPRI. And
Oh, we just traveled with them recently. Yeah, Christy.
Christy, yeah, and we have all our theory down. We pretty much know what we're doing. We just don't know how to do an investigation. So we got together with them and did Concho one night, and we went down to Paul's Valley and did a restaurant down there, which was in Paul's Valley. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. We're talking
probably
2006.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. It was a church at one time.
Okay.
And so that was great. And then we did the Eldridge Museum there, and that was pretty wild night, pretty wild weekend. Concho the next night, and it was the coldest night ever.
Oh man, yeah.
There's a really cool bar here in Tulsa that used to be a brothel, and we've been trying to get into investigate it, but it changed hands, and there's used to be a really interesting space. It's very historic as in downtown. So, yeah. So, are you still in the research aspect of your book, or are you close to publishing? Or?
Yeah, well, probably a little closer than I'd prefer to be, honestly. And maybe I'm finding my deadline, but yeah, we just went to Tulsa a few weeks ago to do some research out there. And so it'll be like a compilation of lots of different towns, cities in Oklahoma. But I would say, yeah, I've got a lot of writing to do. My research is about 3/4 the way done. And then it'll be just supplemental research and writing, and it's due at the end of the summer. So,
it's coming up.
Yeah, it is. And then it'll come out probably March of next year. So,
terrific.
Exciting. That's wonderful.
Are you self-publishing or through a company?
No, it's through Arcadia Publishing.
Okay.
These books, you'll notice the cover, like if you, I'm sure you have some from Missouri too. And
I've got a few of them in the house.
Yeah, Haunted America. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Very nice.
So is this the second book that you've written or are writing, or?
Yeah. So the one that I'm working on now is my third book. Technically, I did self-publish a genealogy book on my dad's side of the family called The Fruit Family History. And it's like also loaded with the history that supplements, like gives context to the different people that journeyed before our generation. Right. Yeah. And then, and I'm working on one that is just McIntyre. And so we have investigated that location, I think 5 times. We've stayed the weekend several times. We stayed a week. Last year, a whole week. And I'm so sorry, my dog needs let out at the worst time.
Yeah, wants to be interviewed as well. No, I get it.
I guess.
Got a lot to say too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Talkative.
McIntyre is going to be kind of like it's going to be factual because it's going to be like you're on investigation with us. So kind of in real time and kind of like if you're reading a fiction book, you're on the journey, right? But it'll be us on the journey investigating and kind of what we've concluded over those several investigations. So
that's one of the best places I've ever been. I just absolutely love it.
It's an amazing place. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. In October, we're doing an event. Our team is doing an event. For the ticket price, you get our Haunted Atchison book, my Haunted Atchison book. Tammy, Christine, who is one of our team members, she's going to be doing gallery readings. And then we're going to do a 4-hour investigation. Wow. So, yeah, it's a whole evening of events. And it's on Charles, the gentleman that committed suicide that is in the house. It's on his anniversary.
Wow.
Okay.
Anniversary, yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you mind if I pause really fast?
Go for it, girl.
No, that's
absolutely.
Fine.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're totally
That's right. That's right. We can pause. Everybody freeze. Yeah, I got to correct myself, and she's not there. I don't know if she can hear or not. I kept saying Paul's Valley, and we drove through Paul's Valley to Wynnewood, Oklahoma, and it was the Eskridge Hotel, not the Eldridge Hotel. Eldridge is in Kansas. No, Eskridge Hotel and Museum, and that's a great place. That was a great place. One of the places I'd love to go back to and see if we run into the same kind of stuff. But yeah, that restaurant and that museum / hotel was in Wynnewood, Oklahoma. So, yeah, the Eskridge Hotel. So Eskridge, Eldridge, Aldridge, they all sound the same to me. But
Eldridge was also the Eldred over in Illinois. It's like, oh my gosh.
Come on, get original.
We're going to the E place.
So, Brooke, you're also a paranormal investigator as well. Is there any? I know that you write amazing books on history, and so I'm assuming that you like a lot of the historical places to investigate. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And is there any experience that you had that has kind of stuck with you on an investigation?
Oh man, so many.
You're on the spot, girl.
I know, so many. I mean, you can't do this without being changed, right? Like,
I'm totally the same.
Yeah, I was very skeptical going in. Like, I felt like I felt like I believed, but I hadn't had any experiences. And, I mean, it's just totally shaped me differently as a person. My spirituality has been impacted, and just all of the things that I believe about the afterlife, and of course we're still learning now because none of us really know. It's just what we've experienced, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are you woo-woo or just people on your team?
I was expecting you to ask that right now.
So I do read tarot cards, and I'm a Reiki master. And then I don't call myself a psychic medium. I don't read for other people at this point, but I do. My experiences have hit another level recently. And I'm starting to see things on location, and I have done some readings for people connecting with their loved ones that have been pretty accurate lately. So I'm not ready to read for the public yet, but I definitely have sensitive abilities. And like when we go to like a house, for example, we have Jill, which is our other teammate. She does the case report. She does the interview. And then Tammy and I will remote view pictures and take notes and then submit those to Jill. Then we walk in and then we walk through the house and see what we pick up on. And then also just take notes. And then we all sit down together and talk about what, we're experiencing and things like that. And then try to confirm if that's true or not. But she'll pick up on things that I don't pick up on and vice versa. And so it's like all these different pieces of the puzzle that we put together. So
that's really cool.
So do you find that when you're together, your senses are expounded or expanded?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. And we have been together for so long now. And, Tammy and I challenge each other, and we do different activities on our own time just to kind of like practice our skills and increase our skills and things like that. And so I feel like we've almost become so similar in the way that we work and think and do, and pick up on things, even though it's a little different. We're very connected in that way. Yeah.
That's cool.
Wonderful.
So, but Tammy Tammy Christine is on Facebook, and she does readings, and she is amazing. So if you want a tarot reading, I'll totally do that, and we can practice psychic mediumship. But I'm not guaranteeing anything yet. But she's also great at reading, so hit her up.
I can't read nothing. I mean, I could read a book. I could read instructions. I'm a.
But you feel stuff, right, Adrian?
Pardon me?
You feel energy when you're on location, like you can feel it in your legs or in your body.
If I feel something physically happening, yeah. I've been touched by ghosts. I can tell if something comes around me. It seems, but not like, oh, there's a man with a mustache. He's 5 foot.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
None of that. His name is Steve.
That was my field of expertise.
I don't get that. I get that feeling like somebody's watching me from across the room. Sometimes I'm like, punk. But no, I wouldn't say I was sensitive. Not at all. Not at all. And but
situationally sensitive. How's that?
We've had several people try to get on a team, or several people have been on the team who say they're sensitive, and I've never been able to corroborate with any of my equipment or any of my experiences what they did. Now I have in Oklahoma with Anita. I've had. She used to be part of OKPRI as well, but I actually have evidence to support what she was telling me.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people, I've never had that.
So Christy, the lead of OKPRI, her and one of her teammates went with us to Atchison recently. We went and investigated it's in one of the books. We did a walkthrough, but we hadn't got a chance to investigate that at the time of the book, but it's a vacation rental now. And so we did that. And we did the Beatty Mansion in St. Joseph, Missouri.
Great place.
Yeah, so that was my 4th time there, but it was during that solar event, whatever it was called. But the fun thing about, which I know Christy has done personal readings for me in the past before we really knew each other, and so I know she's skilled and knows what she's doing. But the fun thing is having 3 people that pick up on stuff, all doing, notes and then converging and coming together to see what we pick up on. That is really powerful when people are picking up on the same thing, even, then of course, if we can get equipment to back that up.
Corroborate.
Absolutely.
There's a person on my team, Bordertown Paranormal up in Katy, and she does the same. She'll pick up on stuff, and then I'll follow behind. We'll go separately, do a walkthrough, and then compare notes and see where we felt, what we felt, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Christy, I was going to tell you that house that we investigated. When I was standing in the entry, and I heard a woman sigh, and Mike was on the stairs, and he had his headphones on with a voice recorder, so he could hear it in real time. It did pick it up. He
that's cool.
Brought it to me and it picked it up. It's pretty cool.
And see, that's my thing. I am a believer. I've seen so much that there's no way I can deny it. And I've had that corroborated by other people seeing the same thing at the same time. I've had that. Got lots of evidence. But I'm still highly skeptical. So when people tell me they have abilities, I get really. It's not like I'm like, I don't believe you. But I almost come across that way because I start to investigate the investigator as much as I investigate the place.
Yes.
Well, and you should, Adrian, because there's a lot of people out there just willy-nilly saying that they have abilities. So.
Oh no.
You did say, Adrian, that you'd allow me to reach for you, so I'm excited too.
At Bordertown, I'm going to let you. You sure am.
I'm excited. I won't fight you much, I promise.
That'll be really cool.
But yeah, so yeah, I've known a lot of people who weren't sensitive, and now they're supposed to be all that. And I'm like, okay, it's happening all over.
So many
But
people, yeah, and it's sad because those that are really gifted, it's hard for those because it's like it gives a bad name, like Miss
There are
Cleo,
some charlatans out there, and they do
lots
give
of
bad
them,
reviews.
lots
it'd
of
be,
them.
I'm sure it'd be frustrating as somebody who does have abilities, and
Yeah,
then see all these people who are trying to capitalize on or make them themselves interesting, I guess.
yeah.
Well, what I found is a lot of people who really do have abilities usually get really quiet during investigations because
Mm-hmm.
they're just watching people like you, Adrian, and thinking, okay, I know what I'm seeing, and this person is just full of hooey.
Yeah.
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 So they
Well,
just
I got to talk about.
be
I know
quiet.
I told you this before at that hospital that I was talking about
Yep.
earlier. Walking down the hall, at that long straight hallway, and I'm
Yep.
walking down there. Anita goes, "Adrian, stop!" So I
Yep.
stop, and she's like, "Don't go any further." I was like, "Why?" I said, "Well, because there's something there trying to intimidate you." I said, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Yeah, to your left." I look. I don't see anything, and I walked on. She's like, "Ah!" Anyhow.
Already put it
I can just see Anita doing that. Oh my gosh, yeah. I know
Awesome.
Anita also. It's like, oh my goodness.
This is great.
She's an amazing person.
I am so sad about that location. That was my first, let me rephrase, that was my first non-residential place to investigate, which
Yeah.
feels like going all in, right? It's like feet to the
Oh.
fire.
Oh yeah.
I'm sad I never got to go. We were talking about trying to
You're
set that up.
you're the people I was going to invite, and then
Yeah.
gone. It's off the table.
Dang
Anyhow.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some good evidence there too.
Mm-hmm.
Got,
Anyhow. So
see,
let's
but
talk
go
about
ahead.
your future book you're getting ready to write. You said brothels and saloons.
Yeah, Oklahoma haunted brothels and saloons.
All
Yeah.
right.
Very
Are
cool.
they, are these so are they, like we have a big brothel downtown that that's our welcome center for Fort Smith. So is
Oh,
that what it is? Places that are like
It's a happy place.
museums now, or it was at one point. I know.
yeah. Some of them will be mentioned just for like historical purposes that maybe
Uh-huh.
aren't standing anymore. But yes, they're something else now. Like the one in Guthrie is now a pizza place.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's see, a Tulsa. I think one in Tulsa is now Empire Slice, which is also a pizza place. How ironic.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then
Well,
so
I'm getting
there's
hungry too.
I know. So there's a lot of different places that will cover like Bartlesville.
I was
Tulsa.
wondering if you did. Did you do Frank and Lola's?
Yeah, Frank and Lola's.
Yeah.
We ate there, and that was a pretty cool place.
Yes.
And
Pizza
then
place too.
No, it's not a pizza place, but
no,
Kidding.
it is a food though. Still,
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's
Yeah.
close to a pizza place, kind of, sort of.
yeah. Well, we had brunch, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
we were
they
there
had
on a Saturday. Yeah.
So
Sorry,
when
I
you're
sidetracked you. Sorry.
that's right. So when you're writing these are you just are you investigating the places or just telling the stories of the place?
Yeah, I hope to. I mean, I definitely ask because I like the stories that people share, but I also want to include my firsthand experience because I think all of it is, good information. But not everybody is open to maybe letting us in. In Atchison, we had really good luck. Everybody was very welcoming. In Oklahoma, it's a little harder. People are not as open to allowing investigations in. They don't want to, like say that something happens there. I think people in Oklahoma, we're in the Bible Belt. I think they're worried. Literally, just even asking questions about the brothel or saloon, I get really weird energy from people. Almost like, oh, that's just dirty. Like you're going to talk about bars and alcohol or sex. I mean, but my hope. Yeah, my hope is to really share the women's stories.
Yes.
And
the fact that they called it the oldest profession makes it professional. So what are they against? They're against women professionals. I don't get that.
Well, I mean, yeah, some of them were. Some of them were really savvy businesswomen.
Entrepreneurs sure were.
Oh yeah.
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 The women in Wisconsin were so powerful that they got the right to vote for women in their state before it passed anywhere else. And so when they were invited to be a part of the union, they said, okay, but only if we get to keep the right to vote, because
Oh, wow.
that's something that, so they were building with their money, they were building churches, they were building schools, they had political power. Now, not everybody was that wealthy, right? Some women were barely struggling to get by, and
Mhm.
and then there was a hierarchy. There was all different kinds of levels of types of sex work. But
I'm telling you, it was a pyramid scheme even back then.
well, there was definitely somebody in charge that got a cut. Yeah.
But the crazy thing too is that I believe it was even legal in the United States until, was it the 50s? 40s or
Good
50s.
question.
I believe it was somewhere around the 40s or 50s when it finally got shut down.
At least
Mhm.
in
Except for Vegas. Nevada.
Except for out west.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have to look that up and see. And definitely, probably, I'll have to look up the federal one because you got me thinking now. But and different states had different dates that was okay or not okay.
Right.
But a lot of them started really shutting down in Oklahoma around statehood.
Yeah.
And there were some
really?
that lasted a little longer, like the May rooms in Tulsa. They stayed undercover for a little while, and some cities even embraced their red light districts and tried to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of regulate it a little bit, where
Yeah.
women had to get, they had to register, maybe pay a license fee, and they had to get tested.
You could tax them and stuff, probably.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if that was around the cholera times, 1850s,
Yeah.
1830s.
Syphilis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So most of Oklahoma's settlement was post land run. And so the first one was 1889. And then other towns, so Oklahoma's kind of interesting and unique because you had Indian territory, but then you had certain lands being settled with different land runs. You had people coming for like the cow trails. So that was another reason people came and went. And then you also had mining towns. So we had lots of different reasons for boom towns, and oil, of course, right?
Yeah.
Oil booms. So there was lots of different reasons that certain towns popped up, and they're all kind of different depending on where you're at. And so, but it also brings a whole different flavor and vibe to that town too, depending on what was there.
Mhm. Now, where can people get your books, Brooke? Are they everywhere, or
So they're
current
on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
And then also I have a website.
Oh, please give it. Absolutely.
I might have to just get that to you. Maybe you can post it in the show comments or something.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of long and convoluted.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the group. Awesome. So do you have, I know you're working on the brothels and saloons, but is there any kind of future passion for any future topics that you'd like to write on?
Oh my gosh. I would like to try to tackle a fiction book.
Ooh.
And I have about a gazillion ideas all the time. And so I'm constantly writing them down. I don't know.
Take them all, put them into one book. There's all your gazillion ideas. It's just going to be a mass hysteria. Call it that.
I just don't even know. Fiction to me feels so much more complicated. So I'm just, we'll see.
Anything goes. There's no parameters there.
Okay.
Your own, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And are there going to be places where you're going to be at where people can come see you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be in Atchison in June. So June 20th and 21st, they're doing a Halloween in the summer. They're going to have, so they're selling tickets for the Haunted Trolley. I'll be in Bargain Books and More, which is a bookstore selling my books. They'll have the Haunted Trolley tickets. They're going to do gallery readings. There's like a tea room reading one Saturday during the day. Lots of different kind of little cool paranormal or haunted type things to do. And then, of course, you have the different locations in town that are in the book that you can go visit. And then, let's see, what's the other one? So then in July, I'll be at the Oklahoma Paracon. And where did we decide that was?
I was in McAllister.
McAllister. I cannot keep McAllister and Muskogee straight. So McAllister, July 5th and 7th.
The 7th, yep.
Yeah, I'll be selling my books. I'll be speaking and also doing readings.
Exciting.
And then our team has the event in October. That's also in Atchison. And that's going to be an opportunity to get the book, do a gallery reading with Tammy, and then also investigate the most haunted place that we've ever been to. So, yeah.
And we're hoping you'll be able to make it to Border Town.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
That's September 28th.
I have it on my calendar. So September 28th. And I am a little behind. I do plan on getting those all on my website as well. So that way people can find that. Yeah.
I will pass your info on to Jess. She's the one that's really in charge of all of that portion of it. So I'll get your info to her and she'll get in contact.
I've already sent it to her.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yep.
Good deal.
We're good.
Yay.
Thank you, Christy. Yeah, sounds good. No, I can't wait. I'm excited to go to it. I've only been to the Oklahoma Paracon, so I'm really excited to go to that one.
Yeah.
So much fun. It's so many good people and panels and just a lot of great things. Pam and her team are just they're awesome.
We're fun. We have a lot of fun with it. We're really enjoying it. This will be our third year for the big one?
Okay.
We've had them for a few years, but they've been smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And we took the plunge and went with the bigger.
It keeps growing and growing, and there's so many more amazing teams and vendors, and I do readings there, and it's a lot of fun because I think all these guys are going to be there. I know Florida, you're going to be there, Pam, but Ken, Adrian, you guys are going to be there, yeah.
Good. Well, I can't wait to meet you all in person.
Oh yeah. And the price is right for the border town. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's free to the public. So
yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, we do. We want more of a networking for the paranormal community, and then it's kind of like the public's invited to come listen.
Yeah, well, that's the best part is the collaboration and like getting to meet different people. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there's so many amazing questions too when you do the panels. There's so much curiosity that, when you have those discussions, it's like, oh, this person's actually investigated this. And, so it's really nice to have that community.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Well, y'all seem like a good time, so.
No,
we get together.
I've had quite the day.
It has been a good months.
So how would people get a hold of you?
So they can email at API of Oklahoma @gmail.com with anything team related. If it's about my book or research or something like that, it's Brooke. And then it's B Montoya author @gmail.com. So B Montoya MONTOYA and then author @gmail.com.
Okay. So because if you're doing research, you might not know you might know this place and this place, but you don't know this place over here.
For sure. Yeah. If there's something that you think I should include, by all means, I have not wrapped yet or a new book idea that you would like to see.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So
do you get most of your stories just by, I call it wandering around, and you may have, me, I have my hat on all the time. You know something about ghosts? Sure, I got a story for you. Do they tell you the stories freely? Do you look for them?
Yeah, so this one's been a little bit harder because I think, so with Atchison, there's so many stories out there already, right? So it's easy to collect the ones that are already there and then see, can we get into those and like pick up our own stuff, see if we get anything. And then also, a lot of them, we just were there. Do we feel anything? Hey, do you ever have anything happen? Do you mind if we get out our equipment and see? And so a lot of them did come about that way. With the Oklahoma brothels and saloons, it's harder because first I have to verify that something was there, right? Like that was a brothel or saloon, which is really tough because they don't like to keep those kind of records per se. Some towns are better than others at verifying that. And then we have to go in there and say, okay, so I'm literally just driving to these towns and some of them already have stories, some of them don't. Like one of them in Bartlesville that I knew was a saloon. I walked in, it was this cute little marketplace type store. And she's like, no, nothing ever happens here. And I'm like, I can feel it. I
Yeah.
know
Right.
They just put it
You
out.
lie.
but yeah, so then we have to, if we
Nothing
can,
happens to them
right.
because they've got it blocked.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's truly, yeah.
Earthquake at Ken's house.
This one I
Yes.
called in Ardmore. I called one in Ardmore, and I just called them instead of going in. And their one of their employees, she was a young girl. She answered the phone, and she was like, "I said, yeah. Does anything ever happen there?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And she goes, "Well, hold on. My the owner just walked in, and the owner gets on the phone, and she's like, no, nothing happens here." And I'm like, so
Dang it.
it's
Did
hard.
that-
Wow.
They're just
did
not
that
letting
at
go
the
of the
historic
stories.
site down here, where Judge Parker's museum is, all that. I talked with somebody, and the big rig come out, and I said, have you had any experiences here? Is it haunted? And they're like going, no, this place is the least haunted location I've ever been at my entire career. And then the other two forest rangers behind him was looking at him like, what, are you crazy? And I'm like, yeah, I believe those people more than your canned answer.
A
Yeah.
lot of that though can be too that if there is claim of paranormal activity, people think that it's going to drive down the revenue of their business.
Yes.
Sometimes, and that's really sad.
Which, if it's not a residential home, I just don't think that is true at all. I think if anything, you're going to get your same customers, and then you're also going to get people curious
Mhm.
to come shop in the store and see if they pick up on it, or just
Absolutely, yeah.
Pam, I'm
Exactly.
sure you went into Paolucci's because you heard it was haunted,
That's
right?
exactly why we went there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I went there because of good pizza. No, I'm kidding.
Well, that was just a
I
benefit.
supposed to be there more for the food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some poltergeist. Hey,
Anyway.
it worked.
Well, Paolucci's right there by the river house?
Kind
Because
of.
there was two of them. That's that low area, right on the river.
It's
Yeah,
not
so
And,
it's
and
right on
is
the river.
it is
It's
River House a 2-story?
Yes,
Okay, I've been there, but they closed at like
they did.
5 o'clock or whatever.
Oh,
This
they
has
closed
been
for
about
good.
4 years
Oh,
ago,
that's too
Yeah,
bad.
3 years ago.
yeah, they
Okay.
closed.
Well,
for
and I
good
always
recently.
wondered, they're right on top of the Missouri River,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I'm sure that probably
So that current of energy. Whew.
yes
Mhm.
energizes that whole area.
Yeah, there's and I talk about this in the book too, but I feel like Atchison has some layers of things that make it haunted, like the whole, and so there's a lot of layers of that. The water, the limestone, they have had their gravestones, like people's bodies, have been moved multiple times to different locations. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that would bother me.
yeah, there's an energetic field that's kind of interesting there. Um, yeah, in addition to part of my theory is the location is where a lot of people, I mean, they was so wealthy because a lot of people stopped there to get supplies before moving on west. So people settled there and then made a lot of money and made a lot of money on the railroad. And there's these huge Victorian homes.
Mhm.
There are also a lot of immigrants, either German, some Italian, or not Italian, but Irish, mostly German. And so you have people coming over to like build this new life. They built this home, they built their wealth. All of the people that were notable kind of ran in the same circle. And there was like 80,000 people at one point
Yeah.
in a small 8-mile town, right? And I think, people are really, when you build that much wealth from the ground up, you kind of want to make sure that it's being cared for and tended to, and don't want to necessarily leave. Something that we've been able to verify is that a lot of the spirits are transient.
Mhm.
And so they'll kind of go from place to place. They all knew each other.
Yeah.
But there's some psychics that have moved there because of the love for Atchison and the hauntedness of it. And then I've heard this story twice, two different people, that they get there and then they're so overwhelmed with the energy.
Yeah.
One person described it as like a wave of spiritual energy every day, and that it overwhelmed them so much they had to move.
That's interesting that you say that, because when we investigated the Sally house, it was back in 2018. And the night that we were there, so much happened, but it's like it didn't register at the time. And it wasn't until we were back home a couple of weeks later when we finally got around to it's like we just had this, I don't know what happened, like an apathy. When we got back, it was just like, whatever, that was interesting. And then we start going through our, our stuff, and we're like, oh my goodness, holy cow, look at all this that actually happened, and there, it did feel at one point, it felt like this wave came through the house, and it's like it just crescendoed, and then boom, and it was over. It's like it just raised to a point and then just exploded a whole bunch of activity, and then it was done. And
Why do you think you had that kind of malaise about it?
we don't know. We have no idea, because once we got home, we were just like, yeah, that was cool, whatever.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, that seriously, that's how we all kind of felt. And then we get to looking, and at one point there was a really big raccoon that was on the porch, and it hit the window really hard, like it shook the house. It hit the window so hard, because we were like, what was that? Mike opens the door, and this huge raccoon is like half knocked out, and he's like waddling away, and we were like, what the heck was that all about? And there's like a iron little table and chair that are out front, a patio set, and there was a bird, and it was just sitting there. It was just stone cold still. And we all walked up to it, and we're all around it going, what is up with the bird? I took a picture of it. Yeah, but you told us this stuff. It never moved. It never did anything. And it was just like, it was almost like we were in a bubble for a little bit.
How weird.
So strange.
That's on my bucket list. I'd love to go there sometime.
Yes.
Okay, the last time we went, let's see, probably 2022, maybe 23. So this would have been our second trip. We were wrapping up for the night, and a bat flew in the house.
Really?
Yeah. So like your story about a raccoon and a bird, and then we had a bat. We had to like chase it down to get it out of the house. But yeah.
It was so strange. I mean, and even years later, like we do a thing called Border Town Presents, and so once a month at our local library, we'll put a thing on where everybody can come, and we'll speak on a certain topic. Well, one night we did do Sally House, and we were going through our stuff. Well, I had gone back through my phone, from years ago, pulling this up, and we had done a small rod session, and Jess was using her rods, and I was recording her, and we were like, it was a very short video because nothing was happening, so we just turned it off. And I didn't realize until 2023 that we actually caught a pretty good shadow going through the room in this, and we were just like, holy cow, we missed that too. What the heck?
That's terrible when you find something years after the fact. Oh, there you go.
Yes, it's just it's crazy. It seems like every time we look at our evidence from that night, more stuff pops up. So I don't know. It's pretty wild.
That's one of the places, and you're talking about the Sally House, right?
Yeah, that's the Sally House.
That's one of the places I wanted to go. I mean, I got their book that they wrote about the stuff that happened while they were there, and talked to them a couple times, and they seemed pretty cool. I don't know, but I've had people go say, we've been there twice and nothing happened. And then I've been talked to people say, oh, it's a fantastic place. So it's just like here, this house is haunted, and there'll be a long time where nothing happened, and then there'll be nights that it's just crazy. So yeah,
we would like to know what causes the the build up and then release is really what it kind of felt like that night. And Jess, she's had dreams since then where like the house would, like the top floor would like bend back, and open up. And she has some pretty interesting theories about that now too. So you have to talk to her about it, Brooke. It'd be really interesting.
So Brooke, we got 5 minutes. I want to ask you, of all these places that you've been to, and you've been investigating for a few years now, right? So what's your favorite place to go to?
Well, my favorite place, hands down, is the McIntyre Villa.
Yeah.
We and you were talking about like different people experience different things. I think our team, I feel like we bring a good energy. We also kind of like, I don't know, just really respect the spirits and talk to them like they're people. They were people. They were, they had stories, they had families. And I feel like there's not a place that we don't go if it's haunted that we don't get something, right? Some places are a little bit more alive than others at different times. But man, McIntyre really comes alive for us. In one weekend, we had audible whistling twice and 2 different times. We had a ball fall down the stairs, a beach ball fall down the stairs 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just like things that I can remember off the top of my head. I mean, it is just, that place is remarkable.
It is.
And the last time we stayed a week, we got some really, we had so much time to try new things and test out some new theories. And we were actually filming a show that was hopefully going to be like a pilot, but our person hasn't got it put together yet. He got busy with paid jobs, so I don't know if it'll ever come to fruition. But we had some well-known psychics like Jessica Potter. I don't know if you know Jessica Potter, and Dana Stricker. They videoed in and kind of took their read on the house. And some of those things that we tried that they said were remarkable, and they had no experience with the house. Jessica had once, but she couldn't remember anything that, because she goes to so many different places. And it was just really, it was remarkable. So I'm really excited for that book to come out and people to kind of, to see our take on having been there so many times. So.
Absolutely. That's exciting.
Yeah. My first time there, I was followed by a cat that kept meowing for about 5 rooms.
Like you heard it with your.
Oh yeah, we all did, and and I was the last one. I was the caboose on the tour. With Stephanie.
You sure it wasn't a cat?
No, there were no cats.
There's no cats. Yeah, I almost hate to keep telling people about the McIntyre because it's becoming so popular now. I'm like, wait, now I can't even get in.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's hard.
Oh, she's booked a year out now.
I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, and I'm happy for her. Yeah, for sure. She deserves.
Good for her. She seems like a nice enough person. She's been on the show.
Stephanie's great.
She was on the show.
The reason why I asked you that is because, about that cat is because when we did the batfish, we had a demon frog. Because I call him demon frog because every time we go, is there anybody here? And I'm like, come on.
It would answer every time.
Every time. We're like, hey, hush, we're doing quiet time. And never did. Anyhow.
There is a person in the chat that was asking, Brooke, if you had ever investigated Pahuska.
Oh, no. I have not. What's there that I need to go see?
The Constantine, for sure.
Oh,
yeah, the theater. It's really interesting. We've been there, and we caught some activity there.
Nice,
it's
yeah.
Town.
Yeah, you'll have to share the info with me. Do you know who owns it still?
I can find out. I'm sure.
Yeah. We're about to do the Pumpkin Theater in Ponca City. I've done that. This will be my 3rd time, which is a really cool place. And Ponca City has so much cool history. That's not too far from you, right?
It's Ponca is about 2 hours away, maybe?
From you?
From me, yeah.
Oh, aren't you right at the border of Oklahoma and Kansas?
Yeah, north of Tulsa, though.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, I'm about 20 miles from Bartlesville.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So it would be off to the.
Okay, wait.
Have you done anything at the? Is it the at the college up there?
At UCO.
Is it Benedictine? Is that the one?
Oh, in Atchison.
Atchison, yeah.
Yeah. So I did not try to get it. There are stories in the book that the Chamber of Commerce put together. That's like oral stories. So it's less history and more of just collected stories that people tell. And there are stories by students there. Definitely it has activity, but I did not go down that. I actually have enough locations to write a volume 2. So if this sells well, there might be a volume 2. We'll see.
There you go.
I had to table a bunch of stories. Yeah.
And on the back side, I guess it would be the back side of the property down in the fields by the river. Did you see that? Did you, by any chance, have you ever seen that old house? It's definitely a haunted house. It's on that road that goes back to the farmland.
No.
If you get a chance, take that low road behind the college. I drove all around back in there a couple of years.
Ken drives around town and goes,
I just explored, and we found an old. It looks like it actually looks like 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty well beat up and
Monsters.
monsters. And
Seems
it
like
was
a paranormal Oprah.
it was awesome. Yeah, if you get a chance, I was just
Okay.
wondering if it's still there.
Go pull up Google and then send me the location. Like, show me where it's at on the map so I can
I'll
find.
see. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, we got to bring this show to a close. And what do we have next week? We
Stick
have
around, Brooke.
Kansas.
Stick around, Brooke.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys for coming on the show.
Kansas is next week, and we will have Miss Brenda Mason from Kansas Paranormal Research Society to hang out with us.
Nice.
So interesting.
So tune in, same channel, same time. All right.
Absolutely.
Bye, y'all.
Okay.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Stay amok.
End credits. All right.
Next